Well, hello everyone. Hi Kevin. Hi Dave. Uh, Glad to see you here. Hello everyone. Glad to see you guys here. I hope you can see and hear me well. Um, I uh, I I am looking through my stuff and I cannot find the typo in the description. Uh, I don't know. Oh, I am doing my Monday night live stream. We're Monday, so that's right. We'll be running my N scale trains. Taking request, possibly more train model train. Yeah. I am not sure what the typo is because great, that's a great news. All right, so I'm trying. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna do a simpler stream tonight. Nothing special. It's the small layout with the nice scenery, the lights in the buildings that we did last week. We don't see very well, but I did add lights into inside the bank, so there's that. I'm gonna move it slightly to the side so we can see it more. There you go. So yeah, uh, something pretty simple, yet that's I think gonna work well. Maybe if I move this down slightly. Sorry guys, I don't want to give you motion sickness, especially with this camera that has has no control over a low frame rate and very little control. But yeah, it's gonna be simple. Just gonna run some trains on the N scale layout, the smaller N scale layout. It has nice scenery. It has lights in the buildings. It's complete. Trains run well on it. They do multiple runarounds. Like it's not just an oval, so I think it's more interesting than my HO scale layout for that. Um, it's it's simple yet I think done well. So we'll start with the first train, which is the one where we left off last time we used this layout. It actually has not changed whatsoever. It changed physically where it is in the basement. Perks of the of being a portable layout, but it did not change. The layout itself didn't change, or the scenery, or anything. I did add two cars that I. Oh, why did it stop? Okay, that was working a few days ago. Well, I tested early. Actually, I tested it an hour ago and it was working fine. Um, yeah. So other than the two cars, the two covered hoppers in the back that I added uh, last week, that I got last week, this has not changed whatsoever since the last time you guys saw it. Um, it's I'm gonna go grab most of my engines and some other freight cars so we can do so we can mix it up so that people can choose which trains we're gonna run. The stream tonight is gonna be a little shorter simply because I I want to keep it simple and interesting. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I don't expect it to last super long. Um, the reason I chose this one is very simple. Um, I've made a lot of progress on my HO scale layout, but it's all progress that cannot be seen. So to viewers, you would not have even uh, how do I say this? Uh, you would not have seen any difference in the live stream. Yet to me, it would have been a big difference. It has been a big change and a lot of work. So that's why I decided to change it up to keep it interesting by switching back to this layout. And I know a lot of people, including myself, really enjoy scenery work that's done, trains going through completed scenery. So that's why this is the one I chose. We can switch the cameras around if you guys would like prefer another angle. I am realizing that this one's low. The one where is my finger? Right there. The one right there where the top left corner actually, the one right there, um, is not great for frame rate. I knew that going in. I thought since it was looking mostly at the city, it wouldn't be that bad. It's actually worse than I expected. So let me know, guys, if you want me to change its spot for a place that's more scenery, less train. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna keep it this way. At least we can see everything else. And so yeah, so that's what's been going on. I I've been taking it. Actually, I put like I said, I put a lot of work in the HO scale layout last weekend with the rain all weekend. But it nothing that I've done can be shown on camera because it's nothing to see. It's just redid some track, redid some wires, moved some wires around, stuff like that. It's not as interesting on camera as running a train or a new layout for the slot cars and stuff like that. So so yeah, since Kevin, what it just did a few laps without issue. Why this? Oh my god. Um, the power supply is fine. The trains are fine. The track's supposed to be fine. And clearly, power goes into the track because it stops on the feeder track, which everywhere else is fine. It's just on top of this, and it's not. Oh no, the okay. There's some problem with the plug was loose. Okay, that's why. Should be fine now. Um, since Kevin has been consistently here uh, in the first few minutes every stream, I'm gonna go grab my other engines that can run on this layout, and I'm gonna let you choose the next train for this. I'll go grab the engines. Just give me a second, and we can change the freight or passenger, whichever it is that you choose according to it. All right, I'm almost there. I might use the laggy camera to show what I have since it's a steady picture. All right, so I brought my Amtrak full passenger train because that's always an option. It well, most of the time it ran smooth uh, on the layout with its light in, which looks pretty neat. Uh, that would be the only passenger train we'll be able to run on this, simply because it's my only passenger train that does run properly on this layout. There is one steam engine that I'll show you after, but there's a lot of diesel engines that we can run. I have another double header I can run. My god, I have more engine than I thought. Alright, so let's take them all out. Where's that switch? wouldn't run great on this, but I still do have that switcher. All right, so for the next engine, well, yeah, that YouTube can be a pain. Hi, Dave. Just an FYI, I have not found what. I don't know if it's my English or whatever, but I can't find what's the typo you're mentioning in my description. So just let me know so I can fix it because I can't find it. I'm unless it's a joke that's going completely over my head, which happens often. I am not getting it. I am really not understanding what I did for typo. Uh, oh, eight and scale best. No, it's okay. That's fair. Well, tonight we are running. I know it's about being the best scale that you're saying this, which I find it funny, but at the same time, I do think N scale has a lot of perks to HO that would be debatably better. But we are running the N scale tonight, so we will be. Uh, so to me, that is the best scale. That simple. I'm only running the best, right? So HO scale night is going to be HO scale best scale. N scale night is going to be N scale best scale. That simple. All right. So for the next engine, no, I just moved around stuff and played a lot with the settings. The two on that side are the two old ones that are not great. Um, One has a very shitty frame rate but decent color. The other one is actually not bad as long as they keep it at this lower resolution. The one underneath me is the Nexigo, the newer Nexigo one with setting played as well. And also, since I again moved around the basement where it is, that's why it looks like this. The lighting is different. And my camera, it's the same laptop webcam that I've just reworked and reworked and reworked. I redid the setting 3 times until it looked like this. So um, that's where I am for this. So back to what I was saying, Kevin. Choose the next train if you're still here. We have this little steamer from Canadian National. We have the Amtrak P42 with passenger cars that go along with it, the lit ones, the same one as last time. We have this Canadian Pacific engine, an ES44 AC, just like the one pulling in front from my CN train right now. I have this Soo line. This I've had for a long time, and I barely run it. This Soo line SD60M, yeah, SD60M, tricloth it's called with the tri window at the front. I have. I'm taking out all my good engines right now. I have this SD60 non-M for CP rail. I'm gonna remove um, the the foam inside the foam inserts for the railing if we run it. I have two GP1. This one is a GP35. The other one's a GP40. This one's maroon colored one, which I think is really nice. I have the Action Red, which is orange, a GP40 also that I could run, which is this one. Um, just a sec, I'm just making sure nothing falls there. So this goes here. My laptop cam decided to, not cam, but my laptop screen decided to turn off on me, which it shouldn't because it's active, but whatever. Um, I also have, finally, a CN GP60 in blue, which is a patch job, and a CN GP40 as well. And how I know which one's which, I just look at the box because I don't actually know how to spot the difference. I'm not that good, Dave or Kevin. I'm just reading what's on the box. So this box is going to go down there. So, Kevin, which one do you want me to run? The options are open, and since you are the well, technically Dave was the first one in, but you're consistently in the new ones. Sue line, please. Will do. All right, so I will remove the CN engine. We will leave the first CN boxcar because it's very heavy, so it prevents derailing from the tight corners. And this is going to go on the HO layout so I don't lose them. I will not run such a long train with this Soo line, and I unfortunately don't have a Soo line caboose, so we won't be able to run a caboose with it, but that's okay. Still going to look pretty neat. And we're going to put a few cars behind it. I think we're going to do a covered hopper train. I have quite a few that I haven't run on camera yet. This is going to be quite hard to put on track because I put the cameras in front of where I usually put the trains on the track. And as some of you guys may know, these N scale trains are quite small, so quite hard to put on track. Alright, so and the train split in the tunnel. Of course it did, because why wouldn't it? Let's make sure I have everything else. Yep. Okay, so I have the whole train. I just don't have them ready to run. So the caboose is out of the way. This is out of the way. I'm going to leave these two here because I'm going to use them and I'm going to go grab some more of these. This is going to be out of the way. I'm going to use the tank cars because they're nice. Oh, right. I got a CP rail tank car. I'm going to go add it. There you go. We're going to go pick up the cars and then, oh wow, that's very close to the edge. My girlfriend would not approve of me doing this. Alright, let's put this at the back. This one at the back because it's heavier, so it's gonna hold well. And please couple. There you go. Alright. So let's reverse to go grab. I'm gonna add the CP rail tanker car, and then let's see how it pulls in the on the incline, and maybe add more cars afterwards. All right, we might be in trouble if we add more. I'm gonna remove the BC rail car. No, I'm gonna leave it as is. I don't think I can put any more cars, otherwise it's gonna not be able to pull everything up. I'm gonna try the tanker car, but okay, so that's just dirty wheel on the engine. That has nothing to do with the train or the track or whatever. The tracks aren't exactly clean, but on top of that, the wheels are not clean either on that engine. It hasn't been run in months. I don't use it often for what it is. I really like it, but I rarely use it, which is a shame. There you go. Let's see if she can pull with that extra car. Oh, whoop, she's a speedy one. Right. She would need a resistor in line on that motor because it's way too sensitive. It takes barely any power and it starts to go crazy in speed. So it's spinning, but it's climbing. There's a part of me that wants to replace the first boxcar because it's very heavy, so that's why it's hard. But at the same time, since it's a six axle, having anything lighter, well, why did it block there? Having anything lighter will most likely derail in the corners, especially since it's having some stop and go issues. All right. So, anything interesting as have you guys done this week? And Dave, just to let you know, I have not watched your unbagging yet. I was about to, and then I saw it was an hour, and I had 20 minutes available, so I decided to wait and watch it all at once. Um, but is there anything Mall Train related that happened recently to you guys that you'd love to talk about, or regular trains, or just in general? Actually, doesn't have to be trains. It's just more of a common interest. You guys don't see it at all, or did the camera freeze? Oh, the camera froze. Whoops. When did it freeze? Uh, so Mexico can. It was fine. Not the sound still works, so I'm surprised it stopped working. Hmm. There you go. It came back, and it's really struggling. So let's try. Let's. I was at the St. Thomas Train Show after Dave and picked up six rate cars. Nice. I hope it wasn't anything Dave wanted, or I hope Dave didn't take something you wanted actually. So, this is really heavy. Let's try a regular weighted boxcar. Let's see if it's gonna hold. I have some in-betweeners, worst case, that are pretty heavy but not as heavy as the other one. Oh, the other way. It needs to go up, not down. Alright, so we bought car, two open offers, and a gondola. Nice! That's a good haul, actually. And I bet you probably got some really good deals as well. Train shows are the place to buy. Why does it stop only once in a while? I know it's the coupler pin that's hitting, but these you can't really adjust them, and I'm not cutting that coupler pin because I am going to use the magnet to make it work. Alright, let's see if that decided to work this time. All for 10. Yeah, that's a steal. That is a really good deal. You won't find any deals anywhere else like those deals. That's just what train shows are. They're just the best thing for that. So it's climbing and it seems to be holding the train down. I'll go see if I have a CP rail related car that I could put instead of a CN1. Uh, yeah, that's actually so. That's a double-edged sword of going later during the day. You might miss on some great equipment because it got sold right away in the morning when it opened, but vendors want to clear their table to bring as little as possible back, so you will get better deals on what's left because they know it's less desirable as it's still there, right? So it's a double-edged sword. It really, if you're not too picky or you're okay with um, yeah, with whatever's left, you will get better deal. But at the same time, if you're looking for something specific, the earlier you get there, the higher the chance you get whatever specific you wanted. I'll go grab a CP rail related box car. So it's now technically CP rail related. It's a Kansas City Southern car, which now that they've merged are going to be are technically the same company, but at the same time, this will be uh, more CP related. Even though it's Soo Line, not CP Rail. Soo Line also is owned by CP, so at this point, it's all the same company. Let's bring it around and put this on. I mean, you don't have to get there any earlier. If you found a great deal and you're happy with what you got, um, that was perfectly fine. The only thing is, if you saw something on Dave's video that you wanted, that's the only downside of going afterwards. But otherwise, instead of being like, "Oh shoot, I wish I was there later," be happy that you got to be there. A lot of people, including me, not too long ago, are not able to go to any train show for distance reason, and you still got some pretty nice stuff. Like you can't disagree that $10 for what you got is a great deal, and I'm sure it's gonna look great behind your the engine that you won from Dave last well on January 1st. I was gonna say the last giveaway stream, but I don't think Dave did any other. I think that was the only one, but the giveaway stream. Um, well, you can do this, yeah. So yeah, I'm just happy for you, honestly. You are lucky, Kevin, after all, right? So can't deny that. And no, I'm glad. I'm glad actually. So they're not going to run right now because, as you saw, pulling up that grade is not great. Dave knows a thing or two about 4% grades. Uh, they're fun. They take very little space, but they're a challenge on a lot of your equipment, and you can't run long trains with 4% grade. Anyways, um, sorry about that. I just hit the back of the table leg with my knee. Um, so the cars I never got to show that I got a while back are these beautiful uh, gray covered hopper, and you're going to tell me they're the most plain thing you could have bought, and technically you're right because they are very plain. But that's the point because those are the most common things. So that's going to be. I'm going to show you one at a time because that's going to be too hard to show um, all together. So we're going to start with this one. Pretty simple. I can't get it to focus, but here it says SHPX, so I guess Ship X. Um, Pretty simple, pretty clean car that has one metal wheel. whoever had it before, those are eBay finds for actually cheap. Great seller. Whoever had it before probably had the same lighting system as me that detects with a metal wheel. So instead of changing all the wheels on all the cars, you change one of the wheel. That's enough for the detection system to kick in, but not enough to cost a lot, right? You can do 4 car with a pack instead of just one. So I got basically the same, but this one says ACFX, center flow. I got another one that's basically the same that says RAIX. Again, basically the same. Next one, but that the ACFX, the special thing about it is it has underbody detail that is quite incredible. I, I got also a GATX, which this one has a logo on the side, which is a little bit more full. I have another ACFX, but with stripes on it, which I thought was cooler. And the last one, which isn't in the pile, but right there, is a white one with blue stripes. I think Dave got one of those. And the camera froze again. Why? It was working fine 5 minutes ago. There you go. Alright. So, one with blue stripes like this, and this one also has underbody detail, which are very nice. Like, really nice. So, these are all quite nice covered hoppers that I got on eBay for really cheap. A Canadian seller that has those, and couldn't be happier with the deal. So and that seller also had some containers for really cheap and 2 high cube 50-foot box car that I had never seen before. I got both are CN. Both are One is brown like the regular ones, but high cube, and this one's blue. I could barely find any information on them online, so if you guys have any information on them, please let me know. They look very good. They run great, and so yeah, these were the recent acquisitions. I got them a few weeks back. I didn't get them last week, but still, very happy with it. Um, Also, anything else new? I finally fitted a DCC chip in one of my engines, my first DCC conversion, which was my F7 unit on HO scale. Went quite well. Bought a decoder that had too many functions for that engine, so I'm going to steal that decoder for something else that's going to use the functions and put a simpler decoder in that one later. It's a standard plug, so it's going to be quite easy to swap around. So, well, yeah. So that would be the new stuff for the week or for the month technically. So now that the Soo line has done a few laps, Dave, if you want to choose the next engine, I can show you the choices again. Otherwise, if you know it, of anything that you'd want to run, just let me know and I'll take it out and run it. You can choose something that's already ran. Just the last two, the SD40CN and the AC44 has been very, very recent. So if you can choose something else, it would be appreciated. And no, I don't have any PAs, and no, I'm not buying any PAs. Just I'd rather go to the mental hospital than buy a PA, since Dave loves them so much. All right, so I'm gonna give it 30 more seconds to Dave to choose an engine, or tell me to show you to show him the engines. Otherwise, we'll go to the next person, whoever wants to choose an engine, and just let me know if you guys want me to show you what I have available, because this one has done quite a few laps, but it's polishing its wheels and the track up the hill there. So I wanna change it to give it a chance, and I might run the Pico Track Eraser to rough up the top of the track so it's not too polished for the next one. All right, so if anyone has any requests for the next engine and or train, because there's a full Amtrak train as an option, just let me know. Just put it in the chat. I'll give it about a minute, and then if no one picks it, I'll pick something else. But it's free for all. Anyone in the chat who wants to put uh, an engine or ask me for what the selection is, because I see there's more viewers currently, just let me know and I will definitely help you and show you all the trains I have available. All right, so we'll finish the lap with this one and change it to something else. I think I'm going to stay Canadian Pacific for this one, but I'm going to run the GP35 with the maroon paint scheme. This is going to be a little something I don't think I've ever ran on a live stream. I've ran it quite a lot in the past, just not on live. Uh, since I've only been doing live stream for a month, which has been going great and has been helping both my channel and uh, me with less editing for the same amount of content, if not more. But yeah, let's put out this little engine, and we're gonna take out some of the tank cars because even though it's quite a heavy engine, since it's a four axle, I don't know if it's gonna grip properly up the hill. I mean, I could always give it a try. It's not doesn't cost me anything. I just need to put it on the track properly. Because if I don't, it's never gonna grip. There you go. All right, so let's go pick up some cars. I love this little maroon thing. There you go. Let's see if you can pull up the hill. Yeah, that's what I thought. We're gonna reduce the amount of cars behind it to a lot less. I'm gonna back it up actually to remove the cars and see where this lands. So I'm keeping that one for sure. We're gonna remove the tank cars, but we're gonna add. We can't just have box cars. That's gonna be. I need something different. I'm gonna keep one tank car. Yeah, we're gonna keep one shell. So let's take this one off, and this one off, and let's go grab some more cars. So this should go up the hill no problem, but I'm gonna take one or two box cars off and put something different. I'll go grab something just to make it more to have a lot of variety. I box cars are nice, but while there are trains some places that only have one type of cars, I like to have variation in my car, in my train. So I'll go grab more. I'll be right back. All right, so let's remove all three front box cars. Put the very nice Rapido caboose that I have. This little open hopper, and we'll have the tank car and this, which is actually not even a CP rail car. It's an ex CP rail, but it's a patch to Quebec Central, which there's an engine I've been looking at for way too long, but finances has not allowed me to get it. But an N scale at Quebec, I think it's a Quebec Central. Yeah, it's a Quebec Central engine. I can go find it online. Quite a nice one. It has the blue and gray paint scheme from I don't know how to pronounce that, but Maersk, Maersk. I'm not sure. Um, that it has that paint scheme on a Canadian Canadian engine. Well, a Canadian railroad. So it's really a nice engine. It's not even expensive. That's not the issue. I just every time I had money for some trains, either a better deal popped up or I've been putting money on the HO scale setup for well obvious reason. I want that one to run and run properly before before buying more stuff in any other scale. And as soon as I have a proper setup for the HO scale, when I say proper, I just mean where I'm ready to do some scenery. Um, I'm I'm going back to working on my N scale layout, and I don't mean this one. I mean not this one, that one, and that camera froze now. I really think my laptop has some issues now. There you go. It should be bad. Yep. So yeah, that not this layout, but the bigger N scale layout. Uh, I I wanna I wanna work on it. I wanna expand it. I wanna redo some section. I really want to get it nice and get more trains to run at a time without interfering with each other. And for that reason, I'm gonna have to put a lot of time in it, and it's gonna become my priority as soon as I have something I can say I'm proud and I can show to people to my and I know I've already shown everyone with the live streams and stuff, but I mean those live streams were for fun and to show progress. I wanted to be at a point where I'm okay with what it is without making any progress and being usable without progress to then go and start to work again on the main N scale layout. And I thought about it a lot. And if I had to choose, I would choose N scale over HO scale. Um, I love HO scale for so many reasons, but my first love for in model trains is running trains and doing some rail fanning of my own model through scenery and having nice wide curves. And HO scale takes so much space when that's your goal with your trains. Switching, definitely HO scale. No questions. Switching, HO scale. Um, Solid cars are fun, don't get me wrong, but they also take space. But as soon as you want to enjoy rail fanning, the downside of N scale by being put harder to put on track, maintenance is well actually is pretty simple, but changing parts can be quite challenging being so small, um, and slightly lower availability. It's getting a lot better recent in the last few years, but at first it was not great. Um, I would deal with that and not have slot cars if it means I can have nice running trains through scenery in a small space when I have a limited space. Because everyone technically has a limited space. It's just how limited it is. But N scale allow me to either have a pretty nice layout in a very small space or an incredible layout in a normal space, right? Because every time I look at any HO layout, including myself, I look at it and I'm like, it's great. You can do a lot, but you, the amount of stuff you could do at N scale in that same amount of space, which, well, being almost about half the size makes it double, right? It's it feels like you could do like for my HO scale, right? Right now I have a 4x10 layout. It's going to be an L shape bigger than that, but just as of right now, 4x10. If my trains are longer than 8 cars, they take half the layout. I could do 30 car freight trains on N scale on that, and I don't even know if it would take the full length. That simple. I do 15 cars on my 6 feet long layout, and it makes sense. Um, I don't know. If I had to choose one, I would choose N scale. Um, there's so many perks to HO scale, but N scale, I think, even though my first model train was HO scale, ever since I've switched to N scale, I've been going back and forth. And since I have the space for both, I'm doing both. But if I had to choose to keep just one, I would keep the N scale. That's that would be my take. What's the biggest downside to N scale? My girlfriend making conversation. Uh, Availability of accessories or setting up accessories. The trains themselves availability has been going up quite rapidly. Um, it's not been an issue anymore. Rapido makes a lot, almost as much N scale as they make HO scale. Atlas has been making stellar model trains for very good price in N scale. Availability is great. There's always stuff in stock at the major retailers in Canada. You can order everywhere. eBay, while being overpriced, has a lot of stock. Tracks readily available and now easier than ever to set up with Kato Unitrack. Unfortunately, Colleen's not here, but when if she would be here, I'm sure she could attest on how easy Unitrack is and how realistic you can make it look. Maybe she wouldn't be able to attest that part because she hasn't done any scenery yet. But you've seen my main layout, and even some section of this layout is using Kato Unitrack, and you would not tell that it has integrated roadbed if I don't show you how to spot it. Plus, the joiners being replaceable with a tool that they give you um, makes it so easy to keep the track level and neat that I would say track is getting much easier. If you want to go down the route of making fancy track yourself, you can. There's also Snaptrack and FlexTrack as well. But Unitrack is such a no-brainer for having something that works easily. Um, I I'd say go and in Canada, Unitrack is as cheap, almost not as, but almost as cheap as Atlas Snaptrack while being more complete. Um, so for that side, it's great. But accessories for N scale, not only are, and when I say accessories, I mean stuff like railroad crossing lights, uh, poles, di- uh, different buildings, and stuff like that. Anything that's very specific to the scale, and that's beside the actual train or track. They just started to become more available. I hope. Yeah, see, Kevin. Yep, Auto Unit Track is incredibly great, incredibly good. Like it's just amazing in both scale. It is more expensive and there's less option in HO scale. I am aware of that. That's why I'm not as quick to recommend it for HO scale. But for N scale, it just works. Even there's the it's not N track. What's the what? There's a whole standard of modular layouts with using Kato Unitrack and they use. I'm gonna go grab one. I have them. I have some here. Um, where is it? Where is it? They have this little piece in N scale. They don't have this in HO scale. I'm gonna show it here. That extends and shortens. The rail stays close to each other, close to itself. So there's no actual gap. The train runs smoothly on it, but it's a variable length piece. And I've seen a lot of clubs do model. Well, I've seen on YouTube. I haven't seen it in person. Um, do N scale with Caudal Unitrack, and that's what they use to connect modules together. Because being stretchable like this, you don't have like you can just put it in between, stretch it so that the unit joiner clip in on each side, and your train runs smoothly across modules. Problem solved, right? This piece alone makes it so much easier to run on a club. Also, if you're trying to adjust, hi Rebel, glad to see you here. I'm on a rant on why I love N scale over other stuff, even though I've been asked by my own girlfriend why N scale. What's the downside of N scale? Um, the, other than the and like to come back to that, other than the obvious that working on the stuff is quite difficult because it's small, it's actually not even that bad. Being that most stuff has been like they know people are not would are not able to shrink down their own hands to work on stuff, and it would be too small to do exactly what they did in HO. So like if you want all 95% of the rolling stock, just like this one, the couplers are truck mounted, and if you want to replace the couplers, it's literally the same price or even cheaper to get a full truck with a coupler on it. That means the coupler height's proper right away. It's just a push pin that you push in, and it's ready to go. Right? It's super easy to do. Um, for engines, that's a little bit more complicated, but most of them nowadays come with the knuckle couplers straight on them, so you don't have to replace anything, and you can always do a transition car. So that's about as easy as it gets. But accessories and detail parts, especially since details would be hard to even see, um, are a lot harder to come by in, to see them for N scale. If you look at what Walter's boxes of um, like the kits for their buildings, all they have in HO scale, and then you look at their N scale list, and it's a third of the length, right? There's not as many options, and for lighting stuff being so small, like just Dave's platform with all his lights, it looks beautiful. There are lights like this available in N scale, which look great and do great, but they're so small. They're micro LEDs. The wires are insanely tiny. It's super hard to solder them, and you just look at them and they break. Right? They're very tiny. So accessories are the biggest downside. But at the same time, you don't have to be as detailed. This is not the most detailed. This, I guess, on the camera. This is not the most detailed layout, but it looks great on camera because it's so small that unless you really go up close to it, you won't see as much what you don't what the lack of detail, right? Um, Rebel, he says, would do on scale if eyeballs. That is a concern. I can understand. I mean, you could always have 2-inch thick glasses that would be both bulletproof and would let you see N scale. That would be the other option. Does have N scale track, but you for H1. Yeah, that's a very common thing to do, and I understand it. I've convinced Joe from Joe's Trains to actually do a forced perspective. Uh, I think it's called, where you put an N scale loop on top of a mountain. So it looks like it's very far away in the back, but it's actually pretty up close. He hasn't done it yet, but he's been very busy as well. Uh, but he does have a Bachman starter kit to put it on. I mean, I never said it would look good, Treble. I just said it would be an option. um, he has the Botman starter kit, and he has a placement for it. And he loved the idea, and he really wants to do it. Like I said, unfortunately, he hasn't had the time to do it. But we're all busy. Life happens. He's a parent of that, so that keeps him even more busy. So you know, but otherwise, and I want to do that as well. I just don't know how I'll set it up with my layout. I think this layout, it's the opposite for me. That's the camera's not mirrored. Um, this layout is going to be on top of my Ocho scale layout at some place to look like a forced perspective layout. But I'm not sure exactly where I'll put it. But yeah, so that's my rant on why I really like N scale and I would choose it over HO scale. It's not better or worse, it's just different. But the perks of N scale over HO scale are what I liked about model trains. Uh, I understand that for most people it doesn't work, but for me it's exactly what I'm looking. Check out the scenic and undecided railway. It is an N scale with animation. Yeah, again, I will check it out. It sounds very interesting. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying you either have to do more custom work or you really have to look far and wide to find kits of it ready to run. And it's harder to install. Like the N scale stuff, like I said, just for the light poles, those there are plenty on eBay, the cheap ones. They're very fragile. I bought some railroad crossing that were flashing for N scale on eBay from We Honest, like a lot of people do for HO scale because they have a whole separate N scale and they're way too big. But if they've done it, they would have done it any smaller. It would have been very hard to see. So it's a weird middle ground. So that's why I don't know yet what I want to do about it. Not what I want to do about it, but I don't know how I'm going to detail everything. Um, Kato does sell quite a lot of stuff done ready to use, like ready to plug, and they work great. The best example would be my lighting system I have on my main layout. Best thing ever. It just works. It was plug and play. You could technically do your own separate power adapter. I just bought theirs because again, it was plug and play. It was no wiring hassle, no nothing. You just plug it on your controller, and it works. So that would be uh, that would be my recommendation for N scale would be to go as much Kato as possible. Rolling stock you don't have to, but for equipment Kato is hard to beat. And since Kevin, you mentioned you were interested in the Kato unit track if it was less expensive. Look up was what's the name of that channel? It's not Foxy Trains. It's I'm gonna go. Uh, I'm loading YouTube right now to look up the name of the channel. It's he has a full Kato unit track set up for HO scale, and it looks great and works amazing. What's his name? What's his name? I have more people on YouTube that I'm subscribed to than I thought. Where is he? If anyone here knows who I'm talking about, it's something about Fox and Mall Trains. No. Of course, I can't find him right now. It's Joe Strain that recommended him to me, and he has a lot of nice stuff. And like I said, it's all uh, he uses Kato Unitrack, and it works great. I cannot find it for the life of me. Just when I want to talk about it, he's always YouTube on my YouTube channel, not YouTube channel, but YouTube recommendation. And the one time I want to show, show or at least promote his account, I can't find it. It's always that way. Huh? It's always that way. The algorithm always works against you. All right, so let's go back to YouTube. All right, so Rebel, since you were the last one to come in, you will be the next one to choose the next strain. I can show you what I have, so it's easier for you to choose. I will put all my engines on the table and grab one of my cameras just to show you. I will put out of the way the ones that already ran, but you are free to. If you know already one that you've already seen on my layout that you want me to run, just let me know. Otherwise, I will show you with a camera all my options that I have that I haven't ran yet. So I will take. I will actually turn off the camera that I want to move so you guys don't get sick. There you go. And let's see if you can see it. All right. So Rebel, if you can choose one of these, uh, you are the selected uh, person to choose the next one. So just as a reminder, this is an SD60 Canadian Pacific, GP40, ES44 AC, a CN Prairie 262, a GP60 CN patch, a SD40 CN stripe, and the Amtrak full train with passenger cars and everything. So which one would you like to run? And I will put the some rolling stock behind that matches whatever you pick for model. Just let me know which one you want to run. And we would not be responsive right now. I'll give you 30 more seconds, and otherwise it'll be a free for all. So actually a full minute. If you decide in the next minute which one you want, just let me know. And this one you can't really see it well. Just a sec. I'll open the box and remove the bubble wrap on it. So Rebel, if you want to choose one, you're free to choose. All right. So unfortunately, Rebel has missed his chance. He will uh, he will have to choose another time if he wants to choose. For now, I will be choosing the next train, and we will go with the Amtrak passenger train. We will move this caboose out of the way because I really don't want to break it. I'll put it on the siding here. This. Those Rapido caboose are not the cheapest thing, and they're really hard to come by. So I really don't want to break it. All right, so Amtrak. I love running this one simply because the passenger cars have lights in them, and as we all know, light more light equals better. It's a simple equation. The more the lights, the better it is. Why don't you want to go on the track? Alright, I'll put you through the rerailer view. Like this. There you go. So this one has some bright headlights, but that's not the best part. The best part are the passenger cars behind it that also have lights. Let's go pick it up. The one thing it doesn't have, I did not put any um, power bridge rectifier in it, so they only like going one way, but that's okay. Um, why doesn't it come with it? Everything's fine. It should just. Come on, we can do this. On the track? No, it's not. Alright, so just making sure it's the right way. Yep. We're gonna put more cars, don't worry, it's not just one car. This one deserves a lot more than one passenger car. I just wanted to make sure everything worked fine. Right? Let's put at least two more. So this one, it won't latch again. I'm starting to believe that something's not on the track properly. Because those usually latch pretty easily. There you go. This one's latched. Let's move forward. Backwards. Go pick up this one. And let's put the cafe car in it. So why the middle one doesn't light up, I don't know. It's properly, I think the wheels are dirty or the contacts are dirty because I've checked and it's on the proper side. Sometimes it lights, just not as much. I derailed the other one, of course I did. There you go. Come on, you can latch. There you go. I don't know why it's being difficult. Usually Kato stuff just works properly. Of course, just because I'm talking well about Kato stuff, that's why it's not working well. But I would say you used to do 5 cars up. I'm pretty sure that those tracks are polished properly. I'll go grab the Pico eraser to rough up the track a bit. I'll be right back. There you go. Now it hooks up. It really was just polished and or dirty. Now it works fine. So I can actually put the last car on this train, which is the Viewliner car. I don't know if I'll be able to put it on the track in the super tight corner. But let's try. Worst case, it doesn't work, and we go and we put it further down. No way. Now, it's not hooked up yet, but at least it's on the track. It is hooked up. No way. All right. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it running. And it started spinning. All right. The last one was not. All right. Since it works great with four, let's keep it at four. Usually five works, but I'm not gonna fight my trains tonight. Four works. Four it is. All right, so this stream we're gonna let it run for a little longer. Don't worry about it. But I will ask for anyone if they want to choose the next train that hasn't been ran yet. I can run something that's already been ran before, but I would prefer that there's more variety on the train running side. So if you guys want to choose the next train, I would definitely uh, love it if you did. So, okay, so maybe my chat has frozen, and that's why I haven't seen any answer from you guys. Let's we'll reopen it. No, that's correct. All right, good. Chat is up and running. Perfect. Right. So yes, if anyone wants to choose a train, let me know. I can show you what I have. Otherwise, I will. I'm just open to whoever wants to pick a train, and I will change it when we move it back in. Oh, don't worry, Rebel. Actually, if you're in the fourth time right now, if you're here, this would be the time to pick a train if you want. You were chosen, but you were away for the time of selection. But if you right now are here, or next time you're here, just let me know and put a train on the that you'd like to see run. Mostly Canadian stuff, but at least if you have any suggestion, I would happily take it and change it for what you want me to run. In the meantime, I'll go. Dare I leave my trains unattended for 30 seconds for the time I go grab some water? And let's not do a spill like last week. I will move that engine away so I don't put it on the floor by accident first. And move those cars to the side so we don't roll. I'll go grab some water. In the meantime, Rebel, if you're still here, uh, you can put a suggestion for a train. If you're not, but anyone else has an idea, just leave it in the chat. I'll be right back. And I'm back with some more water. Fair enough. I was just suggesting because I want people to participate. I want people to feel included in the stream. I understand that some people just like to watch trains run and talk to people, but if someone wants to choose something, I don't want them to not feel included, right? So this is a nice hobby where everyone's welcome to participate, and that's what I want to promote. So here, that's why I'm trying to let people choose. So if anyone has a suggestion at any point in time, just leave it in the chat, and I will change it. What are the options left? A minute. I'm gonna show you. For CP rail, there's three engines. There's this one. There's a smaller engine, which is this one. Fun fact: this was my first bought individually engine. That was a super deal on eBay. There's this one. There's for that's for Canadian Pacific. For CN, there's this blue one. There's a GP35 right here. This, just like the other one, this foam will go away. It's just for the box to keep it safe. And finally, the little steamer, which is right here. And yes, these have the tender permanently attached to it. Well, permanently. They're attached to it, and it's easier to move them as one piece. The one thing I have not brought to this table that we could run, it would need one of these engines or one that already ran, but it would be the snow rotary snowplow. I did not bring it to the table tonight, but it's definitely an option to run tonight. Trying to think. That would be most of my engine. Oh, that would be actually great, Rebel. That sounds like a lot of work, but that would be great. And yes, you can. You can definitely choose the small CP rail. Surprised that this one you chose, but you can definitely choose it. We will run it with what will be the definitely the caboose, but what else will it pull? What else will it pull? I'll go grab some more cars just to have something different. Be right back. So I brought a red and white Line car that I will run with the small CP unit. This liquid air tank car. And finally, an open hopper that for a second scared me because I thought it was broken, but it's not. Uh, that is quite nice as well. A shiny Procore hopper. So this will be with the caboose, the train running behind the small CP unit, and we'll run it the other way around just for a change. I know it will do it, so let's do that right now. Let's move the Amtrak off the track and switch it to the small CP rail. Really like these lit cars. really do. All right, so let's go for the hopper card first. Well, first it's gonna be last behind, in front of the caboose. This this one was a really nice purchase. It was purchased brand new from Utter Valley on sale. It was one of the few left, and these have metal wheels, nice knuckle couplers, which is standard, but the metal wheels are not a standard, and it just runs great and looks nice. When you can put them on the rail properly, they do run nice. All right, so this one box there. Let's put the liquid air tank car, which is going to be that way. So by inter, do you mean something similar to a Bud RDC when you say that? I've never seen an interurban type coach, so I'm assuming it's similar to an RDC, but I am not aware of what it actually is. So I will have to look it up after the stream if unless I come across something similar during the stream. Come on. Okay, so just a heads up, if you're going to put trains on your track, don't put it in the tightest corner of your train track. Between a trolley, more like an MU Transit coach. Okay. Okay, I'll have to look it up to see picture because I'm a visual learner. Why is it so bad at running? It's supposed to run smooth. Is there a wheel running somewhere? Or oh, okay. So why is it so bad? I will have to change that boxcar if this one doesn't, because it's gonna be too hard to pull up the hill if it's bad. Might have been just off the track, but the wheels don't seem to run super freely compared to it. Oh, never mind. It was just off the track. All right, so and let's put the little engine that could. And keep in mind, this actually has one of the brightest headlight that I have on my fleet, and I did not modify it. It came this way. Quite happy about it. Really happy about it. So let's put this one back, and we'll do a tiny operation, which is going to pick up our cars. So let's go pick up this one first, move forward, and go pick up the caboose. Right. So, fun fact: this is an Atlas engine, but back when Kato, when Atlas contracted Kato to build their N scale stuff, so it's basically a Kato with an Atlas box, which I'm quite happy with because that's always a good news. It runs like a Kato, looks like a Kato, cheap like an Atlas. Hey, Tweetsy, glad to see you here. It's been a more calm streak, but quite a fun one. I'm just running my N scale stuff on my small layout. I wanted a just a simple stream where we could enjoy some trains around a layout that's a little bit more complete. And you, if you want, you are welcome to choose the next train. I will show you what's available left, or you can. At this point in the stream, we've been going on long enough that you could run something that has been run before. First, I'll show you the engines, the cars behind it. If you choose the Amtrak passenger car, that's a standard train. But otherwise, I go with what I have for freight cars. I just mix and match stuff I like. So for options, we'll start with the steam engine, which doesn't pull much but looks quite nice. So there's this one. That's the only steam engine for this layout. Otherwise, either the curves are too sharp or the hill is too steep. I have this big diesel AC 4400 from CP Rail that hasn't ran. I have this SD60 from CP Rail. The foam will be taken off if we run it. I have this SD60 from CN. And I have this GP40 from CN. We can do a double header of the two CN as well. So this just got on. Well, this just got on. So we will do a few more laps. But in the meantime, if you want to choose a train, you definitely can. Other options that technically already ran but are open for choice, we have this CN AC 4400 um, or ES 44 AC. I'm not sure. This CN SD40 with a darker paint scheme than most, and the Amtrak P42 that has ran on the other streams with the Amtrak lit coach cars. So you can choose an next train tweet seat. Just and if you're not sure, um, you want to decide something else, or you can always put in the chat. Or if you need me to show you my options again, that's always an option as well. Oh, and it was Crafty Fox. That's the name of the channel, Crafty Fox. That's the channel that has Kato Unitrack for HO scale. And there's also someone on Dave's stream that does what's his name? I'm so bad with names. I'm sorry, guys. He's often in Matthew's Model Trains live streams. I do not remember his name, unfortunately. But yeah, tweet seat. If you want to choose a train, you're free to do so. Oh, another option that I didn't show. We ran it for a little while, but not for long. I have this maroon GP35 CP rail that we could run again. That's also quite a nice engine. I technically have a few more engines, but they don't run great on this track because of the hill or the tight corners. Um, we could try. It's not even that they can't take the actual corners; it's that most of the freight cars will derail from the swing. There's a few that those that the hill is the issue. That's a different story. But the corners, the tight corners, are technically not supposed to be an issue, but they still are. So, and it's not the engine itself; it's the swing out of the coupler entering the curve. So, if anyone wants to do N scale with tight corners, the only thing I'd suggest is to have easement curves, so either 19-inch radius, 15-degree curves on each side, and then you can do a 9 3/4 inch curve in it. That way, it'll be a good easement curve that it won't swing out too quickly and derail your stuff, while still maintaining the possibility of having a tight corner. That would definitely be my recommendation if you do that. Anything tighter than 9 3/4 inch, you're just asking for trouble. Unless you're running specific oldie freight cars, I would I would say don't go any tighter than that. Or actually trolleys, those can take much tighter curves. But full on North American trains, anything tighter than 9 3/4 inch, don't do it. And if you're doing 9 3/4 inch and you keep 4 axle diesels and rolling stock with a truck mounted coupler, you wouldn't have any issue at all. It's really 6 axle diesels that have a problem. So I'll go grab more cars to put on the layout for something else afterwards. I'll be right back. Alright, so after a few more laps, we'll switch to the steamer since Tweetsy hasn't chosen anything. It's okay. He doesn't have to, or she. Um, whoever, if they decide of something, they can just put it in the chat, and I'll definitely put it. Otherwise, I'll go for. I didn't even realize that there was this written on it. For my steam engine with some nice design, an old timey caboose. Well, not super old timey, but older style caboose, and possibly three freight. Sorry, two possibly three freight cars behind it, just so depending on how well it handles the climb. I do enjoy the bright headlight on this one. Once that's the only unfortunate part with that steam engine. It doesn't have a headlight. I wish it did, but it doesn't. I've talked about it before. It's not that it couldn't have one. It just they didn't put it when they did it, and wiring through N scale. This is one of the downside of N scale is adding lights yourself is a lot harder because putting the wiring through when it doesn't have the space for it is just difficult. Just very very difficult. Really enjoy the light in the light of the engine going into the tunnel or leaving the tunnel or in the cut in the mountain really adds to it. So seeing the light on the side of the cut or on the tunnel walls before it comes out is really a nice touch to a railroad. All right, so after this lap, we're gonna put the caboose back here, and then we're gonna because I don't want to remove it from the track too often. If I can avoid it, I will. I will avoid it. Right. Let's move this forward and move everything from the track and put the little steam train. So these are out of the way. This, and let's put the steam engine. We're gonna put it on the original direction, simply because the climb is a little smoother on the outside lane. So I want it to be as doable as possible for this little steam engine, especially since the tender is actually quite hard to pull. Like the wheels are not super. We'll see, it spins without anything, uh, without pulling anything. So if it wheel slips without pulling anything, the problem is not what's behind the engine; it's the engine and or the tender itself. Nope, loss of power. Yep, that's just power. Alright, so let's put the freight cars and the caboose behind it. We have this little old timey paint job caboose with two hopper cars from CN. Come on, get on track. There you go. Seems all. Nope, that's fine. So let's put this box out of the way. And now the two CN hopper cars. Those hopper cars were a kit of two. I have a kit of two CN and kit of three CP rail. Only using the CN for this one. Two different road numbers, so that's nice. I know most people won't care at N scale about road numbers because they're really hard to see unless you're looking right at them with a magnifying glass or something. But they are actually properly printed, and if you're looking at it, you actually see them, and you can tell that they're different. They're not actually that small in these cars. Don't get me wrong, they are small. I'm not saying they're not small. I'm just saying they're far from the smallest writing on a car. Like if you look at it right here, you you can you see the number? Yep, you can see the number on it right there. The railroad number is not that bad to see, but the rest of the writing is not just a smidge. They actually wrote incredibly small. They printed incredibly small stickers or writing on it, so it is actually text on there. There you go. And as predicted, it's not a big difference because A, it's a short train. B, the hardest part about pulling for this one is the tender, not the few cars in the back. If I put more cars, I'm going to struggle even more. But this, for this specific train, these cars are super easy and super light, so that's not an issue. I'm starting to accumulate a lot of boxes on top of my layout. We're going to run the CP Rail SD60 next. Bright headlight, nice looking. Gonna pull most of the hopper cars, the covered hopper cars. It's gonna be nice. So, I'm just gonna do this out of the way. sounded like something went off, but nope, it's fine. If it went off, it came back on. I just realized I somehow aligned the, on the this camera. The two bridges are aligned perfectly as if they were next to each other, but they're actually really not. There's a well, you see on the down there the distance between the two bridges. That's actually quite a nice little. Oh, that's a power issue, and that's this little engine. I'm gonna push it and let it complete a lap, and probably switch it sooner than most most trains, simply because if it has a little bit of power issue, plus it doesn't have lights so we can see it properly, it's not as nice. This camera, the main camera though, has been doing quite well. When it doesn't freeze, I mean, the image is smooth and crystal clear, so that's great. Quite happy with that camera. Took a few tries of the setup, but now that it's set up properly, it really looks nice. All right, so let's move the CN stuff out of the way. Oops. And let's put the SD60 from CP rail. We're going to remove, oh, that is a detailing part, and I don't know where it actually goes. Not going to start modifying my engine unless I need to. Oh, I think it's the dynamic brake. Or, yeah, seems like it. Anyways, I'll do that another day. This is not the stream for modifying trains. This is just a let's run train stream. Alright, so let's move the protective foam out of the way. And it might have to stay on because I don't seem to be able to grab it. And I don't have my tools around me. So let's just put it on with it and just run with it. Come on. Come, please come out. There you go. Well, this one, no, I got it back. I accidentally pushed it back. Oh, 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 maybe I got this one. Oh, maybe, just maybe. Yep, I got that one. Nice, so we're gonna have one side gonna be without that protective foam. The other side will just pretend as if it's not there. Let's run it a bit. And howdy, August. Glad to see you here. You you came in on time. Uh, it's So actually, yeah, I just put this engine on, but this engine can wait. If you want, I'm gonna list you all my engine, and you're gonna choose the next one if you want to. So, engines that haven't been run in a while, or haven't run it at all. This one technically was just put on track, so this could be an option. This is an SD60 from Canadian Pacific. I haven't run yet this ES44AC. I I have a CN SD60, but it's a patch job right there. I have a CN GP40 that actually can run as a double header with the CN SD60, but we don't have to. It could be separate or it could be that. We have this CN ES44AC. We have this CN SD40. Or I haven't run in a little while. We also have this little GP35 maroon uh, from Canadian Pacific. So these would be the engines that we could run right now. You pick one. since you just came in, and we'll uh, we'll we'll go with CP. Perfect. Which one? The maroon or one of the bigger ones? Because of course I can run multiple CPs. Maroon, perfect. All right, so I'll put that one back on the track. Just give me a second. We will run the caboose with it, and we're gonna change up the direction. Let's hope it doesn't have too much trouble with this slightly steeper hill. If it has too much trouble, we'll run it the other way around. It's no big deal. Um, so there's this, and we're gonna run some of my hopper cars, my new covered hopper cars. So let's run this one. Oh, the other way around. This and this one went on pretty easily. On, I spoke just too soon. There you go. Let's run the ACFX with underbody detail and run uh, these two. Yep. Yes, I'm putting them on the wrong track. I'll have my train back up and go grab them. Come on, get on track. Why aren't you turning? You're not stuck that way. There you go. Come on, why aren't you going on? Okay, this one has a little hiccup. But this one doesn't. So let's put this one on, and let's put this ship X on. I tested them recently, and they were all working great on my layouts, my regular layouts. So I'm not sure why some of them are being picky tonight. So let's go grab this one, and let's go grab the other two. Currently, I tried to just pre 1960, so it's nice to see some of the more modern stuff. I do have a few freight pieces before I learned about run boards and staff brake wheels. Nice. Um, Mine is mostly modern stuff with some pre 60 stuff. This engine is technically a modern engine with an older paint scheme, which is currently a thing for CP Rail. Like they have it. I don't know if it's still in service as of today, but it was up until recently. I'm just gonna go grab the caboose. The caboose is not modern at all. Well, it's the most modern this caboose has been, but it's not a modern thing to run caboose. But I just like them so much that I cannot not run a caboose when I have the option. And it seems fine climbing it. Yep, I think this is going to be a winner. Perfect. I could have ran this one with. Yeah, I might change one of them to have this one with a stripe on it simply because the stripe looks good. I'm gonna change the last one, I think, or the middle one. I don't know. We'll see. The middle one because the middle one doesn't have any extra details, but the last one has underbody details. So, not that we can see them while they're running, but we don't talk about that part. We're happy that it has them, and we don't talk about the fact that we can't see them. Right? And let's put that one back on track properly because I messed it up. and that was entirely my fault, not the N scale stuff. There you go. Now it has more color with very modern freight cars, other than the caboose. Uh, a few modern freight pieces, yeah. Well, wow. Why is this car harder to pull than the other one? Will I have to go back? I think I will have. Oh well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. I'm gonna go back to the one that doesn't have a hard time going up the hill. Thank you very much, by the way, for the nice looking logo. My laptop keeps closing randomly. Um, um, thank you. This, this layout has been a I guess, or double headed. If I double head, I can't do it with that engine. I don't have any good speed matched engines for this one, unfortunately. It's really specific. I only have two CN that are pairs that I can double head, and these two are um, because you have to keep in mind that this is a DC setup, and DC you need to have gearing and motor that are pretty well speed matched, which unfortunately most of mine are not. The I can double head the two CN big diesels, so the SD40 and the ES44AC. I can double head the two other CN because they're also well speed matched. But this one is too speedy by itself for most of them, but not speedy enough for the Soo line that I have. And the Soo line is running so tonight because it's dirty and I don't run it often. So unfortunately, that's where it stands. But at least I think this looks pretty sharp. I like it a lot, and yeah. So I use I personally have been a DC type, like running only DC for everything for years. I for Christmas I got a DCC with sound engine, and since it had sound too, I didn't want to switch it to DC. I didn't want to lose the sound functionality, so I got myself a DCC controller, the Digitrack Zephyr Express, the little control box. I really like it. I really enjoy it, but that's only for HO scale, which this is my N scale stuff. Changing N scale stuff is it's a lot more difficult to find the proper decoder because you need to find an actual decoder for the exact engine. They don't have drop it. Well, if there is, I'm not aware, and I don't want to bother doing it. Uh, Putting decoders and N scale stuff, HO scale being much bigger, there's space to put them. But yeah, so I'm slowly switching to DCC for HO scale, but for now it's going to be DC for me. And if you don't want to spend the money and you're okay with not having sound and you're okay with doing lots of wires with switch on-off switches, there's definitely place to just have DC your entire life and be very happy with it. You don't need DCC to have a layout that's fun. Um, like this one, for example. Well, my camera froze. Just give me a second. I saw it go dark. Uh, I'm gonna go super large and then. Oh no, it's good. All right, leaving it as is. Don't change it. All right. So yeah, this layout. This is mostly completed. A N scale 2 feet by 4 feet layout works great. Um, Looks great. Has elevation change, as you mentioned, which I quite like. Unfortunately, I had to go a 4% grade, which is very steep and makes it very limited in what I can pull up the hill, unless I do a double header where those two double header big diesels, no problem with about any length train because the maximum is the hill length. After that, it's free rolling stock. Like it's free rolling for the rolling stock. Um, but otherwise, I would say that well, you don't want to run too long of a train because if it's chasing its own tail, it's not as nice looking in my opinion. That's an opinion. Some people disagree with me, and that's okay. But I'm not a fan of that. I prefer shorter trains on a small layout for looks. I might just do my N scale layouts, which is all I'm running. I'll adding an HO layout soon in 2 months, and hopefully a Z scale by the end of the year. You're jumping in a lot, a lot of scales at once. I'm happy you are. I'm happy you're enjoying it. Um, I personally would feel overwhelmed by having multiple scales um, at once, like in the same year. The reason I'm okay with building HO scale right now is because I have been doing N scale for a while, and like this one's basically complete. The other one is in a working state. Um, I'm not telling you not to. If you want to do it, go for it. But if you do feel overwhelmed because it's a lot, don't be afraid to just pause it, pause one of the scales, leave it as is, and say, I'll come back when my other scale are at a point I'm happy with, and then come back. Number one perk, HO scale and N scale, um, they use the same power system, that both DC and DCC, same voltage, same everything. So uh, yeah, come back to it and sell it. Depending on what it is, I wouldn't, unless you need the money, not necessarily sell it, um, because you might have a hard time finding it again if you really like it. Just a heads up. Um, but for so yeah, the best part about HO and N scale is they share the DC and DCC setup. Yeah, and prices are only going up. So you're gonna sell them for I don't know $100, and then you're gonna have to pay $200 in 5 years to get it back when you could have just kept it, right? So if you like it, just keep it. But yeah, being able to share the DC and DCC controllers um, just saves a lot of money when you're doing both scales because just give yourself a easily unpluggable and pluggable plug in front of your layout and just have your wire coming out of your controller um, with that plug. That way you'll be able to just swap around everything you'll do on the fly. It's going to be super easy and it's going to save you money because while you could, most people will only run one scale at a time. While you could run multiple scales at a time, most people will only do one. So just buy one set of controller, like one setup for your controller, and just have a plug that's easily accessible and keep it. That would be my biggest suggestion for that. That's what I've done. It's the same controller for everything. Well, controllers because I have technically two DC and one DCC controller, but it's the same that I move around. It's it's much easier that way. Um, so yeah, that would be number one thing. I would say N scale unless you really want sound, which I don't think sounds that great because the speakers are too small. Stay DC, do blocks and stuff. I'm sure you'll be happy with it. I am. Most N scalers that's all they have are happy with it. The only time I would say that DCC is worth it for N scalers is when there's a club and you want to be able to keep controlling your engine without interfering with other people, then it might be worth it. Uh, so, well, I mean, if you want to have separate, that's fine. I was just suggesting that when you start the other scale, you don't need to right away buy a new power system. You can use your current one in the N scale stuff. Uh, in the meantime until you buy another one. That's more what I meant, right? Um, it's not. It doesn't have to be a priority. You can focus on track and rolling stock and scenery. So there's that. But yeah, there's for N scale, DC is plenty. HO scale, especially if you have sound, the speakers being bigger, you can tune them to sound really good. Uh, uh, yeah, exactly. Gradual operations ramp up. When you're going to start with HO scale, unless you, well, I mean, there's nothing that stops you, but you don't need to start with 10 engines, right? And to run them all at the same time. If you just start HO scale with an engine or two with a simple loop or two simple loops, you can have DC plugged in, and most DCC engines support DC operation. Some of them you need to do a setting in the on the decoder, but most do. Or if you buy a DC engine, you can convert it later, and it's much easier in HO scale. So I would say your first few purchases for HO, just go, just don't focus on the power stuff right now. Focus on track and rolling stock. And when you start scaling up where you want to run multiple stuff or have a bigger layout or want to jump to DCC, then you can do it. That's what I've done, and I have no regrets or problems because of it. So I would definitely recommend doing that. We're planning on running it. Let's see, video layout, size restriction, or that. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, what's nice, I've seen quite a few people online do. Joe Strains wants to do it, and I'm thinking of doing it as well. Is to do a force perspectives thing where you put your N scale on the on top, like physically higher and further back, well, at the back of the layout of your HO scale stuff, to make it look like it's super far away and super small, but it actually is pretty close. Ooh, sorry about that. Tired. I'm just a little tired. You could do that, and that would allow you to run both scales at the same time, like in the same area, and enjoy both scales. Uh, you don't have to, but that's an idea. Otherwise, that you can always run them separately and just enjoy both layouts. But yeah, um, HO scale and N scale have a lot of things in common and a lot of things that are different. Um, but yeah, so if you don't mind, I will change the engine to something else. Since you've been, oh, that's nice. So, do you want to choose something else, or do you want me to choose something, August? I will let you choose if you want to. Otherwise, I can choose something. Your turn. Perfect. So, I will do. What will I do? What will I do? I will leave. I will put that caboose back. Leave these three cars on and do my original double header that I had when I started the stream with these cars on and a lot more just for the fun of it. Because you did mention you wanted to see a double header earlier, so since I can do one, just not with this oops, just not with this engine, I will do that for you and me because I quite enjoy running those two. You didn't see that. There's no spill in the river. Some CP is not going to be happy about this accident. The decontamination team will not be happy. Let's just hope this hopper was only containing carrots or something, so it's pretty eco-friendly spill. But I doubt it. Come on, there you go. All right, so let's move this. Let's move it out of the way. Let's put this. I mean, putting the Z scale further back higher If you can see it, good. But that might be a little far, literally, and a little small as well. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm happy to see something like that happen. I really want videos of this when it comes up, or at least pictures, because that's going to be really cool. But three scales on top of each other will be pretty crazy as well. So I can't wait to see it, quite frankly. I cannot wait to see it. That was neat. And this one. No, this one had issues turning for some reason. I don't know where it grabs, but this one cannot. This one. This one seems fine. Let's run that one at the back. Sorry if it's taking me time to switch everything, but it's just the nature of putting everything on. And being N scale, as some of you may know, it's pretty small, so you need to be pretty spot on. And why aren't you getting on track properly? There you go. Alright, so that's going to be really nice. If you can put up videos, I would greatly appreciate it because I really want to see it run. Like, it really sounds interesting. I was thinking of doing some, but not as fancy as you will, August. So as soon as you have videos of this, I really want to see it. Let's put the brown one first. This is quite heavy. That's nice. Why is it? Come on. I ran you. You run great. Why aren't you running great right now? I ran you great before. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Blue one, and then another CN boxcar in front. So that is going to be a super heavy boxcar. So I personally, while it seems like I love freight because that's the most popular thing on my layout currently. I actually prefer passenger stuff. I just love the way it looks, especially like the smooth side or the stainless steel cars. The only reason I don't run them as often, um, they are quite hard to make it run reliably on N scale. From my experience, maybe it's just the brand I bought. The only reliable ones have been the Kato ones, which Canadian rolling stock, Canadian passenger rolling stock from Kato um, is harder to find. Oh yeah, that too definitely looks much better on sharper curves. Also is runs better and looks better on sharper curves. There's definitely that. That makes a big difference. And also simply the availability and price. Passenger stuff, regardless of the scale, is so much more expensive than freight stuff. You can get a lot of freight cars for the price of a single passenger car. On average, passenger cars I've seen are around $40 each. E- and both and for that's for N scale I've seen about 35-40 bucks in Canadian dollar for and $50-$55 average for even even more. I've seen over $100 each for HO scale for passenger cars. You can find freight cars in the used market for like 10, 5, 10, $15, both HO scale and N scale. So like that price difference makes it so much easier to acquire stuff or to have a nice collection, right? Because Having three passenger cars or having 15 or 20 freight cars, the 20 freight cars are going to fill up your layout a lot more and are can look quite nice and you can do operations with them. You can do a lot more. I will still pay the price for passenger stuff whenever I can, but I will be hunting for deals most of the time and just uh, Zscale is surprisingly priced much more similarly to HOC. Really? I'm curious. I was not aware of that. That is interesting. So I'll run. I should be able to put at least a caboose behind. I'll go grab my nice caboose. Yes. Another something different for a freight car in the back and a caboose. Let's put my fancy Prairie Shadow caboose. Fancy CN caboose. These things look gorgeous. There you go. This one is gonna be need to be in a straight line to put on track, but I will put it not to worry. Oh, the last car is not properly on the track. Let's hope it does the full tunnel. And yes, it's still behind. Yes. I want to grab it in the tunnel. Well, this one is red, so I think that's gonna fit your requirement pretty good. This might not look proper red, but that's a proper flashy CN red, and it's fully detailed. It has full interior for whatever reason in N scale, but unfortunately, no interior lighting, so I cannot see the inside. But it is, yeah, it is quite a nice caboose. My favorite part, which is gonna sound stupid, there's end plates on that caboose on each side that has the CN logo on them. So it really looks nice. The CN Noodle logo, it's really nice. I pre-ordered them. I pre-ordered two and got both from Prairie Shadow, a nice little store in Canada. I don't know, August, where you're from or what railroad you model. Please let me know. But this for Canadian stuff, I've been finding a lot of decent N scale stuff recently, and this is just an observation. I don't have all the data sheet. Um, I surf I surfed past a caboose with sound earlier today. Why would it sound? Um, Depends. Some caboose. It really depends on the manufacturer. Some of them will just put some rail sound. I've seen some people have full-fledged engine sound, so the caboose is the speaker um, for the train instead of the engine. Some of them would be just like uh, talk over the radio stuff. It would really depend um, what the sound file is on it. I really can't tell. For all I know, it could be fire cracking from the stove in it. Um, but yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, uh, enemy of road. So I'm assuming MILW is Milwaukee Railroad. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's quite a nice little railroad. Um, uh, I'm not sure what RM means, but I'm also not aware of all the railroads in the 1960s. You know, uh, um, because we all know how that went. It started with tons of really nice railroads, and then they all merged or got bought when the finance went down, and that reporting marks. Oh, right, right. That makes sense. Yeah. So I will figure though that you're doing North American stuff, correct? Mostly American, but North American. So you could have some CN stuff in there, like for freight cars or whatever. Um, but yeah, these caboose. I've been chasing for caboose for since I've been in the hobby. I just like having them at the end of my trains, even though I do modern stuff and they don't run anymore. Um, and I bought a bunch over the years of cheaper looking, just cheaper uh, caboose, and I was never really happy. I was always chasing like the next one, the next one, the next one, and then recently, recently, a few years ago, I pre-ordered some caboose from either Rapido or Prairie Shadow, and ever since I got them, I don't want any more. The ones I have, those five caboose. So I have one BC Rail, two CP, and two CN. Well, technically, I have another CN that's a fancy, more regular brand, but that's beside the point. Ever since I have these five, I'm like buying one nice piece. Uh, oh, that's quite nice. I'd be curious to see what you're correcting on your Via livery. But yeah, ever since I got those nicer pieces of rolling stock, yes, I paid more for them per item than I would have normally paid, but they are so much nicer that I'm like, nope, those buy once, cry once, and be happy. Like less stuff, but nicer is much better than more stuff than uh, more stuff and lower quality. I've been more and more leaning that way. Uh, with stuff with more blue than not, yeah. The VRL, the blue VRL stuff. The tricky part is not a single manufacturer has the same shade of blue for the blue with yellow striping scheme, making it really hard to do a nice set. And I actually sold an engine because of that, and I've been regretting it because I just really like the engine, but I couldn't find anything that matched it. So it was something odd. But yeah, that blue stuff is quite annoying. But yeah, the more I go, the more I'm leaning towards less stuff but much nicer. And since I've been trying to do that, I've been a lot happier with my equipment. For example, for HO scale, I sh- I went out and bought uh, the I went out and sorry, I was reading your comment. I went out and bought right away the Walters Mainline passenger cars for my VRL stuff, which is not the most accurate or the most expensive, but I still went for brand new, uh, nice stuff, and I've been very happy with it. Like I I bought. I originally thought I would do a three-car train, and then I was like, yeah, but it's missing a tail end car. So I went ahead and bought a fourth one. I put more money than I wish I did for a four-car train, but it's so nice that I don't regret it. But I'm also not going to buy more because it's so expensive. Hey, Danny, how are you? Um, so yeah, that is the way I've been trying to deal with my stuff. Of course, if there's a great deal for something really nice, I'm not going to pass it. Um, but I've been leaning on a lot more on less nicer stuff and also detailing my stuff. There's something I need to do from myself. I have two Burlington Northern grain paint scheme engines in HO scale. The handrails are just plain black, which they are not actually in real life. I I don't do the nicest job. I I don't have an airbrush, so I do it with just a brush. But I do paint my handrails to have like the safety colors around them, and just adding that to an engine makes the world of a difference on how fancier it looks. I'll go grab an example. So these two are two Walters GP9M that both came with black handrails, just plain black handrails like this one, which looked pretty nice, but was pretty plain. I just did. My girlfriend helped me match the paint for the yellow on the stairs, and I did some white on the handrails. And look how much nicer this looks with uh, with painted handrails compared to this one. So this one needs to get done. Also, I have another a Kato SD40 I need to do, but this makes the world of a difference. Yeah, I think your piggy bank might need some glue after this because those sets are really hard to come by. So I would say go for it, but your wallet might not agree with me. So the only difference I'm going to do for the Burlington Northern, according to the real engine, they didn't use any yellow on their handrail, so this one's going to be all white accents on it, but it's still going to stand out a lot more and look a lot better than plain black where you lose the detail in everything. I mean, that's what this hobby does, right? It ruins your wallet, but keeps a huge smile on your face. No matter what the weather is outside, no matter what's life throwing at you, this hobby will make you smile when you have your engines around you, your trains around you running. I'll go put them back, but I just wanted to show the difference. Fun fact: the handrail on my SD40 and my N scale model, I used my HO scale one that was already painted to do the to know where to paint on the N scale one. So, yep, I did the handrails on the N scale SD40, and I was looking at my HO scale one to just. So for a while, I can't find them as readily available, but for a long time, I would use the Atlas couplers, which are might not be as fancy, but they work just as good and are much cheaper than the microtrain couplers. Yeah, well, the thing is, you can only see so much on an N scale model, so that's why like the handrails are way out of proportion. They're not actually two scale, but if they'd make them two scale, they'd be a freaking hair, the thickness of a hair. So like nobody would see them and they'll always break. So that's why they're too big. If you look at them really closely or you take a picture, I've seen a lot of people complain about this on the uh, Scale Train's website where they look at the N scale and they're like, the handrails are way too big. They don't look good. It looks cheap. It looks like a toy. But then you get them in person and you're like, no, the model is just so small that if they did the handrails any smaller, you wouldn't see them. That's all it is. Like, yes, up close in picture they look too big, but put them on your layout and sit back, that they should be the size they are. Compared to the Kato knuckles, I might agree, but compared to the Atlas knuckle, I would not agree. Um, I have a few still on Rapido couplers, and they as soon as you do elevation change, they tend to slip out a lot more than knuckle couplers, because for switching the Rapido stuff, like the older style, they're easier to uncouple by just pushing down on one because they slip out from top to bottom. But the problem with that is as soon as there's an elevation change, they slip out by themselves. So that's why I have more issues with that, and I try to avoid them as much as possible. Your mileage may vary. Maybe you got lucky and you got the right stuff. Or I'm the one who got sorry. I'm the one who was bad lucky, and got some not so great stuff. But personally, I'm much more of a fan of the knuckle couplers. I mean, also the transition makes a difference. If you have like a 2% grade with where it starts in the middle of a long track where it slowly bows to go up the elevation, and after the elevation's done, probably you wouldn't have that issue. But since all my layouts were space constrained and had 4% grade, which I've had no issues running on most of my trains, especially if you have enough of a big enough curve so you can run bigger engines and double headers like this. That's fine. Um, but unfortunately, um, I cannot. But yeah, for that, Rapido couplers are not it. When you do 4% grade, where it kicks up pretty rapidly, um, and for for that, I will keep doing 4% grade on my N scale stuff. The whole point of N scale is being compact. And like I said, if you have wide enough curves that you can run long six axle in double header configuration like this, 4% is not an issue. Uh, you're saving space and it works. So look wise, I think the Atlas looks better. Functionality, they should be the same. All right, have a good one, Jersey Bill. Thank you for coming by. Um, functionality, in theory should be the same, but the trip pins are easier to break off. I've noticed. So I'll show you actually a direct example in this camera. Um, I don't know how well it'll focus. This one has an Atlas coupler. Oh boy, where you can see the shape and you can't really see the color, but it's a brown color and the shape makes more sense. This one is a microtrain one. The shape is a little less realistic. I think the Atlas actually hold better for like they stay coupled better. But if you use the magnetic uncoupling, the the microtrains will work much better, and the trip pins are more solid on the trip pin. The uncoupling pin are more solid on the microtrain ones. But if you don't do that kind of uncoupling, I would say not only are they cheaper, but the Atlas one actually worked better. I've been very happy with the Atlas stuff in these past years. Their cars are such a good sweet spot of detail for price, and couplers just work. It's hard to complain. I used to find packs of four trucks. It was truck and coupler all mounted together. Uh, it was $7 Canadian for a pack of two, or 12 for a pack of four trucks, which was really good price in Canada, anyways, for a set. But they've been harder to come by, and I don't know if it's just the hobby shops I go that have a hard time getting them, or they're actually harder to get them. I don't know. Um, but yeah, if you if you do see some, so yes, but that's where there's an asterisk. I've only seen Atlas stuff for freight. I haven't seen Atlas stuff for passenger stuff track. But I also have passenger cars with micro train stuff, and they're complete trash. Like I had to modify them to even have them run on the cars they were made for, and they don't run great. Like they constantly derail. Seems like there's and never enough weight. There's interior, so I can't add more weight. Um, it's uh, on on a simple loop of Kato unit track, the with wide curves, the the um, yeah, that happens a lot. August, most conversion upgrade costs more than the actual piece of rolling stock. Yeah, that happens. But yeah, the microtrain ones for passenger cars are not great. I haven't seen any Atlas one. The only reliable stuff I've seen for passenger has been the Kato stuff. So that's not great since you're trying to move away from them. Uh, if I'd be you, and you don't have any issue with your Rapido couplers on your on your passenger stuff, keep it Rapido. That simple. If I'd be you, that's what I'd do. Freight stuff, micro trains or at least Atlas, but passenger, if it didn't come with a set of knuckle couplers that run great, I haven't found any kit replacement or upgrade that actually works fine. So that's the unfortunate truth. The only thing I haven't tried is keep the stock, like the truck that came with it, and have a replacement coupler that works where the Rapido coupler is. That you could try that with micro trains. I guess that could work. I haven't tried that one, but replacing the whole truck, don't just don't. The micro trains one do not work great. There's a reason why I barely run that train, even though I love it so much. It just doesn't work properly. Coupler height adjustment, or if it's depend what kind of coupler is there on that, like what kind of coupler is it, like did they come with Kato couplers, did it come with micro trains, did it come with Rapido? I am really curious because that uh, Katos, that is very surprising because these are my only fully reliable couplers. Huh, I need to look some. So I did notice something. Some of my Katos came with a little spring behind the coupler. I'm trying to show right there, and some didn't. Check if yours do or don't. The ones who did are much more reliable than the ones who didn't. And I've converted one, and it's been a lot more reliable since. I'll go grab that specific card. So trip pins are the Kato ones don't come with one stock. Trip pins are the little thing that dangles underneath. That's what uncouples automatically when it goes over a magnet. Uh, yeah, the copper wire piece underneath. That's not what's been. If your Kato stuff has those, that could be the issue you have. But if they don't, like most Kato don't, between the coupler and the truck where it mounts, some have a spring there and some don't. This car didn't come with any. It came with just a plastic push pin on it that held the coupler there. This one was unreliable. I cut half, not all, but half of the push pin, and I added a spring. I'm trying to on. So this side has the spring with half of the pin. This side doesn't, and the side with the pin, the spring works much better. But it's that could be a reason why you're having issue, but not necessarily. But other than that, Kato usually has been my most reliable coupler for passenger stuff, and most reliable car for running in general, actually. Freight will have trip pins, and those can very much be problematic. Um, because if that hangs just slightly too low, they can uh, they can get caught in either a turnout, a rerailer, or even on the outside of the curve. Um, uh, when there's a joint between two tracks. So trip pins can definitely give you issues if they hang too low. There's a few set of pliers out there that you can get to bend them further up. That would be my first recommendation because removing them, if you want to do switching, you'll lose the ability to do that. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is bend it up with it's a it looks like a regular plier, but it actually has a curved shape to it, and you press and you pinch it, and it bends it. Because if you try to pry it with a regular pair of pliers, you will rip it out. Just don't do that. Uh, yeah, well, I mean, the coupler height tool is always useful for sure. Um, Passenger cars do not need trip pin. Most of them don't even come with any trip pins. If they don't have any, as long as the cars have the same coupler height between each other, um, even if it's not the right height, it's fine because there's nothing that hangs low, right? So that's a different story. But for freight stuff, if you want to do switching, you absolutely do want trip pins, and you absolutely do want them working properly. What's the last thing I want to show? Oh yeah, there's a third type of trucks and couplers for N scale, and it's the Concours stuff. I'll go grab an example. So Concours had a mix of stuff, which was couplers. Sorry about that. Couplers that don't open at all. It's one fixed piece, so that you basically put them together and leave them together, but mounted on a spring like a rapido coupler. Oops, right there. This works great when they're perfectly aligned, but works like trash if as soon as they're not perfectly aligned. So that is also another option. Depending, so Concours cars love them for so many things, but those couplers not it. So those, if I do it again, I would replace just the couplers, not the entire thing, with not the truck because those truck work great. Just the couplers. Yeah, if you don't have them, I'm not saying not to buy Concours cars. If you do find a good deal on them, go ahead. But expect to replace the couplers. Do not replace the trucks, just the couplers. Um, if you buy the micro trains replacement couplers that have a long shank and a T section underneath for the spring, these would fit this and these would work. But they're expensive, so that's why I didn't replace them. I found an order of uh, for my train that the couplers all match and it works pretty good. That's just what I do. And all the trucks are the same for all the types of passenger cars in a well, not type, but like these steel cars, stainless steel cars. The entire train has the same set of trucks. So when I found trucks that matched with each other, I swapped them around so they made sense with the order of the train. So that's uh, that's another story. But yeah, these are another thing you could have. Yeah. So it's 10:40 on my time, 9:40 on Eastern time, or actually early earlier during the day for more out west. Or if there's people from the other side of the world, it's later. Since it's 10:40 on my time, I'm gonna end it at 10:45. So I'm gonna not changing train because it's gonna take 5 minutes to change a train. We're gonna just enjoy 5 more minutes. I'm sorry to cut this short. Uh, I enjoyed having you guys here. August, the conversation was great, but unfortunately, I have to work in the morning tomorrow, so I will have, and I have a lot of cleaning to do. I will have to end it. Oh, Holly! Oh no! Okay, I guess I could last 5 more minutes. Well, 10 more minutes. I could last until 11 my time. Ah, I will last until 11 since Holly just got here and I'm staying for a little longer. Uh, I will let you choose. Actually, yeah, I will let you choose a train. I'll just go put some stuff away so I don't make everything fall. I'll be right back and I'll let you choose a train from the list I'm gonna show you. All right, so I know what you usually like. So I feel like if I show you any steam engine, you'll pick it right away. Uh, that's that sounds about right. I will I will show you other options, but I feel like the steam engine is gonna be. It had issues earlier. I ran it earlier and it did not run right. We can try it, but I don't have high hopes for it. So I'll put it on a track, let it do a few laps, but if it has issues again, we'll have to pull it off track and put something else. Unfortunately, it's not that it has bad issues. It's just it has a hard time going up the hill by itself. So um, putting anything behind it, I can't. I can put barely anything behind it, and which limits, you know, limits trains we can run. But we will try. And I know they say do or do not. There is no try, but this is not the case. This is we will do, and while it will probably not run, we will stop trying. So I'll leave the last two pieces of rolling stock because they'll fit the train. Actually, no, I'll put an old timey caboose. I'm a fan of try. I mean, I'm just quoting Star Wars. I don't know how much of a fan of Star Wars you are, but all right. So this is So, do you want the newer style caboose but more detailed, or do you want the older style caboose? Yeah, well, I was quoting Yoda in the first three, technically, the first third, which is the sixth or whatever you want to call it, in Return of the Jedi. I think it's in the sixth, or is it in the New Hope that it says that he says do or do not. There's no try. But yeah, so which caboose do you want, Holly? Um, do you want the older style caboose or newer, more modern caboose? I will let you choose. Older, please. Perfect. So I will move that one out of the way. I'll put it in the city. Those fancier caboose are too expensive to put anywhere that could be knocked off. Cheaper than HO scale caboose, but still expensive. Rapido sold some N scale caboose for about $55 for N scale. They released the same caboose with a little bit more detailed interior in HO scale, $115 for the same caboose but in bigger scale. So I'm very happy with my N scale when I see those things. And now that they've sold out most of the places, they've gone up in price when you find them. So now that they're out of production for both scale, actually, not just HO scale, still expensive. Come on, get on the track. This is on the track. So unfortunately, this one doesn't have. Something's clicking, and I'm not sure what it is. Oh, it's fine. All right, good enough. And yeah, sounds about right. So here you go. Let's do at least a few laps with it, but I'm not sure how long it's gonna last. As long as she keeps going, she's gonna run. I do have another small steam engine that has a headlight, but that one really doesn't like inclines. So or tight corners for that matter. It really doesn't like this layout at all, actually. Come on, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. There you go. I can go grab it and show you, but we're not running it. And why did you stop again? And I derailed the caboose. Nice. Let's just hope it doesn't fall here. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Let's stop it before it crosses the bridge. There you go. Not so much of bridges, more of the of ridges. I'll go grab. So, Holly, this is my other. Oh boy. Why did the camera freeze again? Just give me a second there. And of course, my mouse pad is covered with freight cars. Uh, why did this camera freeze? Uh, there you go. It's back. So, this is my other. Oh, come on. So, this is my other N scale engine. N scale steam engine, a 260 this time instead of a 262. Like I said, it's gorgeous. It's more detailed. It has a headlight. I just I just love this engine, but unfortunately, it hates. I'll put it on track right now. It hates everything about this layout, and if I put anything behind it, it's gonna have a hard time climbing. And we're not gonna talk about the axle. Axle, yeah, going through the tender and the engine because the motor is actually in the tender, but the gears and the power is in the like the engine has the gears to move forward, but the motor is in the tender for some reason. It's such a weird concept. It works great, looks amazing, but it's weird. Something shorted somewhere because this one's going slow and the other one's not moving anymore. Told you it was not great. I mean the engine's great, just not on this layout. Why? What is happening with you? You are great in my other layout. Why are you like this? Because you're off the track, aren't you? Yep, you were. That's why. So yeah, now you Now, Holly, you've seen the two little steamers. I have two bigger steamer in N scale, but they are not in working conditions. One of them is old enough that the cast on it says West Germany. It is from before the Berlin Wall. Well, the box said after, but the cast is older than when they torn down the Berlin Wall. And the other one is a cheap Bachmann that never ran right, but was super cheap, so it's more of a display model. I'll go put that back with where it belongs on the main layout. And for uh, for for finale, we'll finish a few lap with this one, but then we'll switch it to another train. Do you mean total or just this scale? Because I do have the HO scale as well. Um, uh, if I do, I'll answer to both separately, and then you'll decide which answer is the one you wanted. Overall, everything, my favorite loco would be my Via Rail in HO scale. Even though I said earlier that my yeah, it's having an issue. Um, N scale. Okay. Uh, so just for a heads up, August, I'll come back to you, answer you, Holly. Don't worry about it. Just a heads up. If you have a decent phone, that's more than enough. For video editing, if you have a Windows computer, or even if you don't, because it's a web service, Microsoft Clipchamp works. It's free for 1080p recordings and videos. Works amazing. For live streaming, don't don't waste too much money on super expensive camera. My nice webcam here that's frozen now, but that's my laptop, not the camera. Um, Works amazing. It was a $45 camera on Amazon. It's a Nexigo N660. Again, right now the issues I'm having is not with the camera, but with my laptop. And OBS is free. So before you go ahead and buy super fancy stuff, just get yourself uh, the basic stuff will do just fine. I would like you don't need the super high end fancy stuff to do a nice recording or a nice live stream. My phone's a Pixel 7. It's not even the most recent phone out there or the most high end. And my video recordings are more than fine. It records 4K 60 FPS perfectly fine. I can use that phone as a webcam. In fact, I didn't set it up, but you can. So, all right. So to go back to Holly's question, favorite loco in my N scale roster would be, whew, I think it's gonna be my Via Rail F40PH. I'll go grab it. I haven't ran it because I don't have a train that runs on that track. It's not the best runner for these type of layout, but it's not that bad. It's really the passenger cars that are a pain. But this F40PH, it even has truck lights like the real one, which most engines don't have even an HO scale, but the real one does. So this would be. I'll show you for the light. I, I don't know. It's hard. It's impossible to see on here, but there's lights shining from the trucks on each side in the front, like the real one. So I guess this would be it. Otherwise, that old steamer that didn't run on this as well would be on the top five for sure. I have actually most of my favorite one has not been ran. I have not run them tonight because they don't like this layout. It just so happens that so truck lights. Oh boy, I'm not gonna be able to show you on camera here, but in the uh, right there on each side, there's an LED shining downwards on the trucks to and it's VRail has them and they're running them while running the train. They're it looks really good. It shines down, and when I can't do it right now for a live stream, but if I'm just me by myself and I turn off all the lights, you see around on the you see the ballast around the train from those lights on top of the ditch lights and regular headlights. And for overall favorite, I would say I don't know if this one or my P42 DC from VRL as well. My first DCC engine would be my favorite. I don't know actually. Uh, I'm also a fan of lights. For that, I'll be right back. Last time I ran this, the lights started to go out because the connection wasn't great. But oh yes, it's on and it works on this. I'll replace the steamer with this little switcher who doesn't have much more tra- a lot doesn't have much more traction power than the steamer, but at least this one has a bright light in front and it's a short little steamer. These switchers are cute, but not as useful in N scale as they are in HO scale. Well, it's more in the spotlight. It's a regular LED in the cab because that's the only place it could fit, and it lights up about everything around it. It's I love it, but it's not realistic whatsoever. But in N scale, realism is not the. Oh boy, the steamer is stuck, and the switcher doesn't have enough traction to actually move. There you go. There you go. Let's remove the steamer and put the switcher on. Let's go grab those cars and then run it with some lights. All right, so let's have the spotlight of a cab light run around the layout and enjoy that little switcher. I guess that's gonna be the last train. I'm sorry if I'm cutting this short for you, Holly. But like I said earlier, it's turning 11 and I'm working tomorrow morning, so I need to go. I will need to go and I need to clean up my place. Um, but it is. I'm gonna switch to caboose for the last run because I really, really, really like my newer style caboose. It's a bigger but easier to run caboose. There you go. Nope, it didn't latch. Come on. There you go. There you go. And that's what I meant when I said the light sometimes flickered because the connection for the headlight is not properly soldered in there, and that's my fault. I'm the one who installed it, and I my solder isn't as good. Yeah, I should go to bed now, and I have stuff to do because I decided to extend the live stream. So there's that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to cut the live stream short now. Thank you everyone for coming. It was quite nice. I realized that the streams are starting early for most people. That's why a lot of people are joining in later. But unfortunately, due to my time zone, I need to make them earlier, and I will have to keep doing this. But I will keep doing it at the time I am doing them. So most for for Eastern Standard Time, it's till whenever, usually 9 or later. Like today's going to be 10 um, for my live streams. Thank you all again for coming. I really appreciate the support. I will. Don't worry, Holly. No problem. You can watch the beginning if you want. The replay, I always leave them up. And so yeah, if you guys and gals want to come back at a later another week, I'm trying to keep doing every Monday from 7 to at least 9 Eastern time for live streams, and try to upload more stuff. But that's not as consistent. So I will wish you all a great night, and see you on the next one.